Welcome back, Alpha Hunters. The week just closed for April 14th, and let's just dive right into a little review. So, early Monday, we actually gapped down pretty good on the SPY and the Qs. So, the market just had a nice little gap down that morning, and it was pretty much at the low of the previous week, or for the Qs, it was actually below the previous week by a pretty good margin. And then just traded down a little bit on Monday. But Monday we were down roughly 1.7%. And then the market just wanted to be back and forth all week. It was Tuesday we opened up, traded down. And then Wednesday we traded all the way higher with the screen candle. And then today we traded back down. So we have a lot of full ranging bars that pretty much from open to close, it pretty much was the price action. So where are we going from here? Well, that's a great question. I do think we are really close to some really strong buy areas. So I wouldn't necessarily be looking to get short here. The places to short was back up here where I was actually buying. I was actually buying some of the dip over the past 2 weeks. I didn't really buy much this week. I did some long positions, not buying, but basically selling put spreads and stuff like that. And I mostly just did that on select names that didn't look bearish really at all. Love was one of them. If you saw my video from Monday, I'll leave a link at the end. But it worked out well. And I'll hit on a couple news things here in just a little bit that went on this week. But we are obviously not going to play out kind of like this. We're going to have a little bit deeper of a pullback. I do think, though, we're going to need to readjust kind of this Elliott wave and what's going on here. I don't think this wave, this bigger wave, is the one that's actually going on here. I think this might have been like an ABC correction. But this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think it needs to be adjusted. And this would be a 4. 5 is going to be up over here. And that 3 was back up over here. This is the way I drew it out about 2 weeks ago. And I adjusted it last week. Obviously that 5 won't be that far over. But I would be looking for something like this going forward. And the key line to break really on the market, I was really kind of glad towards the end of day today that we got a lot of selling, especially right at the end of the day today. Okay, so if you're looking to be bullish, which I would be looking to be bullish, okay, we were right on top of very strong support levels right at here at this previous resistance. We've kind of come and we haven't really broken through that. We're pretty much sitting right on top of it for most of the week. And then a previous area back from January where we're back in this zone. So the key support level that if we break this, we are going to go screaming higher is at the top of Tuesday's candle. Okay, I'll zoom in a little bit, but put the line down already, but it's right there, right at the top of Tuesday's candle. That top right there on the SPY is 445.75. Okay, that line, I would not be bearish. I would not like to be bearish. If you are bearish, I would look to close shorts. But I'm really glad today, at the end, we actually got below yesterday's candle or Wednesday's candle, because I know a lot of people, especially on the Qs, so if we look at the Qs real quick, especially on the Qs, look at that. We broke down on the Qs. I'll go to an intraday 15-minute chart. So this was yesterday's open, or Wednesday's open, was basically right here. So you can see for about the past hour, we got below it, and we just kind of kept trading down below it. But we didn't go get below the week's low. That was set on Tuesday. So I know that there was probably a lot of people trying to short right there at the end of day today, going into the weekend. And that's not a bad play. Just not one that I'm willing to make. I'm not at these levels, not where there's a lot of support here on both the Qs and the SPY, so the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. So there's just no reason to short right there. And if there's any kind of good news that comes out of this weekend, like if Russia pulls out of Ukraine or anything like that, the market will scream higher. I would imagine if that does happen, I would imagine the market probably opens above these. I am not saying Russia's going to pull out of Ukraine. It doesn't look like that's happening anytime soon. It seems like that situation keeps getting worse before it even looks like it's going to get better. But we have a long 3-day weekend. News can go either way, but I would not want to be shorting right there. I would rather wait after this weekend, see what kind of potential setups we can get on Monday, see what kind of comes out over the weekend. So that is kind of what I'm thinking on the Qs and the SPY. And on the SPY, back to the SPY real quick. What is very nice here about the SPY is we do have a very nice kind of shoulder, neckline, head, neckline, shoulder type setup. And so if we start to push back higher, we do have an inverted head and shoulders, and man, that is an awful looking shoulders. But that is kind of what I'm generally thinking. So we do have this neckline about right here, and then we got a shoulder here, shoulder here. So I would not look for much a push lower than maybe if we get down to like low 430s. I would look, if it gets down to this upper green box area, I would look for that buy up. But even at these levels, I wouldn't really be looking for the short. I would just kind of wait on the sideline or start to get into some long positions. So that's kind of what I'm looking for, just this inverted head and shoulders pattern. I do think we're starting to get into like this buy area. Anywhere in this zone, I think we're good. Start buying. I do like the fact that we did break down towards the end of the day today. I'll look for a strong buying, probably coming out of Monday. So let's talk about some of the news things that happened this week. So Tuesday, if you do notice that we opened up pretty high. We opened up high and we traded higher and then we just rolled right over. But what came out Tuesday before the market was inflation data came out at 8.5%. And the market did like that a lot. I don't know why, but the market responded very well to it because they were mostly expecting around 8.4%. But it does lead me to believe that people are still out spending money. And like all these talks about a recession, it's very hard to have a recession when people are spending money, no matter what inflation's doing. Now, the big news for me revolves around one stock and basically a type of area that hasn't really been performing well since the COVID bottom, and that is travel stocks and Delta Airlines, a lot of the airlines. But Delta Airlines had earnings this past week. So they had earnings Wednesday before the market. And basically, as you can see, that they did very well here. They came out and said that they are seeing very high demand, okay? And this is something that is just a matter of time, right? Before people are like, okay, I'm done, I'm traveling, to hell with it. And we are starting to see more restrictions get pulled back. And I do go into more of a deeper analysis in my love video, LUV, on Southwest Airlines that I put out Monday. You can look at that at the end of the video, but you can be a little bit more aggressive here on some strategies, I think. Maybe even going with some bullish strategies. But what Delta Airlines said in their earnings announcement was very telling for what they are seeing as far as the consumer. Even though people are seeing like home sales maybe coming down or whatnot. And from what I understand with home sales is like there's not a lot of new home construction going on. I don't know why, but people are out there wanting to buy homes, but there's not homes to buy. So people are still going to spend their money. And that is something that people need to figure out where they're going to spend their money. And maybe travel stocks do get back going. Airbnb might be an investment, maybe potentially going forward. They responded very well after the Delta Airlines announcement. So there were some very good things that came out of this week. The market's just trying to figure out where it's going, okay? One last news thing that kind of came out of this week that is going to be pretty good for option traders and basically any kind of index option traders or SPY or Q option traders is the CBOE said they are going to start having Tuesday and Thursday expiring options. Tuesday is going to begin April 18th, so that is this next week. And then Thursday is going to begin on May 11th. So you can look forward to that. Tuesday and Thursdays are going to start being weekly expiring options on those days. So that'll be kind of nice, as we will have expiring options every day of the week. Now, I don't know, and I haven't seen how that will filter over to the SPY or the Qs or the NASDAQ or the NQs. I would imagine that they will be coming soon, if not on that same day. I definitely don't know about the Qs or NASDAQ on that front. We'll just have to wait and see. But I'd imagine on the SPY that they would come either on those days or soon thereafter. They usually do come around that same time. We'll just have to wait and see. But just wanted to make a shout out about that and let you guys know that that is something that is coming. So I will leave this article link down in the description for you guys to check out. Anyways, so that's what I am looking for the bounce still on the market. I don't see much downside really. If we get a pop higher and we kind of go flat and maybe start to roll over, then I could maybe see us maybe changing my mindset at that point in time, but I'm just not seeing it right now. But the markets are closed on Friday, the 15th. So enjoy the weekend, very long weekend, very enjoyable, relax. Been a lot going on in the market, so take that breather, spend some time with the family, and just enjoy the weekend. Alrighty, take care, Alpha Hunters.